Today I want to talk about decisions. Pick your path, you pick your poison. What I mean by that is pretty obvious, right? If you do things that are harming your life, then it will result in a life that you don't want, or it will result in harm ultimately. That's pretty obvious to everybody, right? But to some people who are very spiritually minded as well as very direction oriented, they think that they can do things that are terrible for them, terrible for their lives, never truly understand what they really want and why they're doing that thing, and then end up with a life that may achieve a goal, yes, but is not one that they really wanted. And that's because they didn't take any understanding or any thought to why they were making the decisions that they're making. Here, let me paint a picture for you. Let's say you have the goal of being famous. You want to be famous. But you've never really done it before. You're setting out on this new path to be famous. You don't really know what you want to be famous in, but you know you want to be famous. Now, maybe along the way you could definitely find what you want to be famous in, but you just don't know. But you want to be famous. So you go and you do the most accessible possible thing because you aren't directions toward a specific path in fame, and you do the most accessible one. You go and you try and, fame could even be being a porn star or a P-star, Fame could be doing anything. Fame could be, being a guy on a commercial for a drug that gets recalled by the FDA for killing millions of people. Fame could be terrible. Fame could be the worst possible thing that has ever happened to you in your entire life. But yet, you could still achieve it by having your life destroyed. That's what I mean by directionless thought towards a goal. The goal is not the only thing, man. You gotta listen. Pick your path. Pick your poison. What I mean by that is a couple things. First thing, we must ultimately pick our path. That's what we must do. Not pick our goals or pick our noses or pick our mindsets. We must understand what we want our lives to actually completely look like. Completely. What do we want this whole thing to actually look like? What is all the goals, all the mumbo jumbo we keep inside of our mouths that we're working towards and saying is good, as well as the things inside of our head? What does this all really look like when we, expand out 20 years in the future? That's what I mean by path. Maybe 40 years in the future. This could be a lifetime path that we're setting out on. And, we're not even giving it an ounce of thought. And we're just trying to achieve goals because we think that that's going to make us happy. Because that's ultimately what we want. We want to be happy, right? Well, I digress, but here we go. So we want to know what this thing looks like in 20 years, or long term. We want to understand where this life is really going. That's number one. Number two is we must discern why we want it to go that way. If the intention is pure and you believe that what you're doing it for is the right intention, you believe that you're going to be contributing to society and doing beautiful things in life, well, then I think you're on the right path. But if the intention for what you're doing is malicious and naive and silly, ultimately, childish, if you may, it's not going to pan out very well. The reason why you're doing something is important because there's someone out there watching. And it could be God, it could be the universe, it could be whatever you really believe. But there is a specific set of morals and a specific code that you follow, right? I'm not saying that those are defined, and I'm not going to define those for you today. But I am going to say that if you're doing something that goes against those morals, if you're actively pursuing a goal, or you're doing a task, or pursuing a goal and having a task related to the pursuance, and if you're not really, if that task puts you away from your morals, puts you away from what you truly believe you should be doing, or truly believe you should be saying, or truly believe the way you should be operating, then it's not going to work out well. Ultimately, you're going to feel dissatisfied. There's a lot of dirty money out there. There's a lot of dirty fame out there. There's a lot of dirty ways to get to a goal, but you don't want that. What you want to say is that I worked my ass off for this, because that's the way you get to things. Pick your path, pick your poison. Yeah. So, we want to understand what this looks like long term. That's the big one, okay? The next thing is we want to understand, or we want this path to follow closely with what we believe is right and what we believe is true. If the reason why we pick this path is a good reason, and it's fulfilling, and it's worth something, and we really feel a lot of love and energy towards it, right? Then let's go and do it, okay? So we picked our path, we did our discernment, and now we're trying to understand, what does the poison mean? Well, pick your path, pick your poison means two completely different things in the terms of poison. Poison meaning that if you pick the wrong path, you could be getting poisoned and ultimately fall into a place that you don't want to be in. Or that any path you do pick will have poison, it's just the poison that you want the most. And that's the next point, is pick your path, pick your poison. You're picking your poison even if you are following a very fulfilling path. It's going to require a lot of time. It's going to require a lot of energy, a lot of effort, a lot of things that are otherwise foreign if you were outside of the path. It's going to require a lot of money. It's going to require a lot of attention. And it's probably going to require you to change big time. And that's the things that we really need to be concerned with. It's not something that I think is most important when discerning the path, because ultimately we need to know that the path we're going down is one we want to be on. But there's going to require you to step up to the plate when challenges come. Pick your path, pick your poison. If you're trying to become a better human being, let's just say this. Let's say you're like me, and you're on the path to becoming a better person, more aligned with your morals. Let's say you've probably lived outside of those from time to time, and you just want to achieve these internal goals of being a better man, right? And it has a lot of external factors, but overall, that's what you want. You want to be a better man, a better woman. Pick your path, pick your poison. That's going to have a lot of downfalls. That's going to have a lot of things coming at you that you're going to have to deal with. You're not going to know how to deal with all these problems that are coming at you very quickly, very fast. But you are going to learn how to deal with them as time goes on. And you're going to get better at it. And you're going to get more inclined to notice problems. You're going to get more inclined to understand what you want out of this path. Now, obviously, you have a good idea when you set out on it. That's why you take the discernment steps, right? But at the same time, we don't fully understand where that's going to take us until we're, knee deep in it. Things are going to change. It's going to give us a little bit more expansive understanding, and we're going to be able to properly discern where we need to go once we're in it. Pick your path, pick your poison. There is an ultimate real reason why there's poison to each and every path, but the true reason is because you were built for that poison. And that's what I'm trying to say here is maybe there is, and this is kind of me just freeballing here. I don't know if this is 100% true, but maybe there's this intrinsic thing that the stuff and the ways in which you want to live your life the most, whatever your path may be, right? When properly discerned, maybe you yourself are actually built for that poison more so than any other path that you could have chosen. Maybe it's just that, the achievement of this path is so great that it's willing to get you through that you're willing more so to get through these pitfalls, or that you're prepared for them, and that you're going to get through them. It's just going to take some time, but it's ultimately going to take effort. Which brings me to my last and final point. Pick your path, pick your poison. The poison's all the same. Now listen, there's a lot of different aspects to different paths, and you're going to have downfalls that look, a little bit this, a little bit like this, a little bit like that. There's some pretty consistent things you can build in life. Pick your path, pick your poison. Picking your path is ultimately picking a path within the path of life. Life has poison in and of itself, and when we're talking about our path, ultimately that poison is going to be the poison of life as well as the poison of the path. Pick your path, pick your poison, the poison's all the same. As we're going through this path, we're more inclined to achieve a goal, which gets us through 95% of all the poison that we encounter on the path of life, right? If we're trying to get better at something, be better, we're going to get through the struggles of mundane life much easier. That doesn't mean we're always going to be doing it well, but we're going to get through those problems a little bit easier because we have something to be doing. When we have something to be doing, this poison does not affect us as much because we're living life on hyper speed. We're living life on a speed that's, I need to get past these problems, get past this poison, and get back into the building phase. Get back into the phase of being a better person, being a better man, being a better path follower. So ultimately, what I'm trying to say in this video mainly is when you're on the path, you're going to have a lot of downfalls. But realize this. Number one, you could choose a different path. You could discern again. It could be the fact that you made the wrong decision, but ultimately you picked this poison, this sort of suck that's in your life. You picked the suck. And it was going to happen. It's always going to happen. It's going to happen. And you could either, number one, like I said, choose a different path, or number two, continue following the same path that you're on and get better at dealing with the poison. Get better. And the better you get at getting past this destructive mentality, this setback, that poison is gone. It'll be easier to cross. It'll be easier to get past. And when we do that, then we're on the path. We're going to get there to our goal a little bit quicker, and everything's going to be all right. But pick your path, pick your poison means that poison's always going to come. You're always going to have these terrible, terrible feelings in life. These terrible, rough places in life. Pick your path, pick your poison. You're always going to have this poison just trying to get in through the floorboards of this little mansion that we built up inside of our brains. Realize this, and really quick realize it. You picked this to happen. It's always going to be there. It always will be. The only thing you decide right now is how you're going to deal with the poison. Pick your path, pick your poison. You wanted this to happen. Now what are you going to do about it? Most fall at the knees and either change their minds or never even give a thought to come back to trying again. Some try for a little bit, but they can't seem to break a code because they personally either have discerned it properly or they're weak individuals. They, number one, don't want to deal with the problems that life has, and so picking a path and dealing with the poison is a hard thing to do, especially when you're dealing with the path of life. But a very small amount, when shortcomings, when big things come up, when their path goes down a rough direction and you have some bump in the road, when this poison really comes, they're going to have not necessarily the antidote, but the will to fight it off. And it's going to hurt, and they know it. But they say, you know what? This is how it's going to be. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to say to myself, this is what I chose, and I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to deal with it. And as they deal with it, they get past it. And they're on the path again. And then it comes up again. And they say, I've been here. Nope, no. I've been here. And their mind going into it's like, this may not even be poison. These bumps in the road, this may just be another opportunity for me to get better at dealing with this part of life. Better at dealing with this part of the path. You know what they do? They get over it quicker the second time. Or maybe it's the same amount of time, but they learn much more because they know that it's important to focus up. Either way, that's the person that we want to be. Today, we want to be the ones that pick our poison intentionally and then say to it, you know what? We're not going to stress about this little silly thing. We're not going to go into a deep mental frenzy, pointing guns at ourselves because we didn't know what was going to happen and we weren't prepared. No. We're not going to do that this time. This time, what we're going to do is we're going to get past it. We're going to go through it. And when we get through it, just know, I know that if we just keep doing this, if we get through this bump right here, we're going to be back on the path and we're going to continue doing what we're doing. But it could very well come back up. Regardless, we're going to get through this bump and we're going to be all right. That's what we need to be doing today. Picking that poison and saying to that poison, shut the hell up, boy. You're just part of the process. Pick your path, pick your poison. Not only are you picking the path, well, that's just part of the fucking process. It's the poison. That's just part of the path. Pick your path, you're picking your poison. Picking your path is poison and the path. So realistically, I should just say, pick your path. Whatever you want to do, man. It's always going to have this plethora of fun little curveballs that are thrown each and every way. 7 different pitchers in the bullpen. I mean, tell me about it, man. One for each stretch of life. I mean, you can't even really understand which one's going to come out next. And you sure as hell can't read those pitches. They got one guy pitching submarine. You're playing MLB The Show 17. What are you going to do? Regardless, I digress from the MLB jokes, but pick your path, pick your poison. When you pick your path, you pick the things that you want, you love, you need, you cherish, you wish the most for. And you pick the things that you hate the most. Hate the most. You pick the things you hate the most. You pick the things you don't want to see happen in your life. You pick the people that you don't want to hurt. Pick your path, pick your poison. You pick the poison. But you also choose how to respond. You also choose how to live. You also choose how to fight. And today, man, pick your path, pick your poison doesn't mean shit. Because you're going to fight. You're going to get over those bumps. See those bumps in the road? Say less. Let's go, man. Pick your path, pick your poison. Get out of here, poison. Get out of here, bumps. I'm just going to keep doing what I was doing before, which is dealing with it. I'm going to deal with it today. That's all I really had to say today. I hope this motivated you a little bit. Realistically, the only thing that's going to motivate you is actually doing it. But at the same time, hopefully you can go out there and pick your path and understand that poison is going to come with that bad boy. There's going to be some setbacks, some drawbacks. If you like my channel, if you like this video, there's going to be more coming. More coming at you. More that I can talk about, more examples to throw out there. Not just about picking your path, but about doing things in life, achieving your success, and being a better man, a better human being. Subscribe, like the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one because I love to make these videos, and I love to see you guys watching them.